Hey everybody, welcome back. Just another check-in on how things are going. I got a new version out there in the wild, up and running in my test account. So just want to give a quick update on how things are looking so far. Today was kind of an interesting day. It was pretty quiet for the most part. We had midday here. The market dropped a couple percent and then pretty much rebounded not too long after that. So I was kind of curious how the market would, or how the algo would go about handling that. And what I saw was actually I discovered a pretty significant bug in how my bid prices are getting calculated. And that caused a bunch of orders to be placed way closer to the market than they should have been when the market was dropping. And ideally, what I wanted to happen is I wanted the bids to get spaced back further when the market was in a decline like this right here, and that actually was not happening. The orders were getting placed closer to the market than they should have been. And so I went through and kind of took a look around and found a very obvious error in my logic for calculating the bid prices. So the way that I currently am calculating my where to place the bids and the asks is I have the midpoint of the bid ask spread in the order book, and then I have a minimum spread that I want the orders to be at. So in like completely placid market conditions, I believe I have the bid ask spread for the algo set to be like, $30 for Bitcoin, for example. So if inventory is completely flat and the market's very quiet, it's going to place those orders $30 apart. So then on top of that, I have a calculation looking at the order book imbalance. So if the order book is weighted one way or another, it's going to adjust the spread accordingly. It's going to look at the very recent volatility and widen the spread if the market volatility is picked up. And then it's also going to look at the relative volatility. So if the market volatility is changing dramatically from, say, the current time period and some look back, then it's going to widen the spreads even more, because it's like, okay, volatility is picking up. We need to get a little bit more defensive here. And then it's going to take a look at the very short-term order flow. And it's also going to adjust the spread. So not only is it going to look at how wide or narrow to make the spreads, but it's also going to look at how it should offset those bids and asks. So if order flow is strong in the buy direction and order book imbalance is strong in the buy direction as well, it is going to shift those spreads up, because it's like you're not going to want your asks to get lifted so easily, right? You're going to want to move those up a bit if you're seeing strong buying pressure in the order book imbalance leaning towards the buy side as well. So there's those components going on in the whole calculation of where to put new bids and asks in the market. And so what I was seeing actually is the bids were getting, the bids were getting way too aggressive in the downtrending market. So the strategy overall today actually just finished about flat, but I think it would have done a lot better had I realized this mistake sooner, because it would have been a lot more passive during this downtrend. Now, the good thing was that it didn't get completely killed when the market dropped and it was buying on the way down. So that was a good thing. So the other thing too that I had implemented since yesterday was this idea of kind of a danger zone. So if it's detecting a very strong trend developing, it gets a way more passive in the direction that the trend is forming. So for example, on the sell side today, it did get a bit more passive when the market started dropping, especially from the high up here. So as far as what that means in real life is, one is if a strong trend is detected and I'm already long, it's immediately going to pull the bid and just wait to see how things are going to play out. So it's going to hold back for a few minutes if it's saying, okay, things are really picking up steam here. I don't want to just like step in front of this and throw a bid out there to throw a bid out there. And then once it is ready to come back in, it's a reevaluate things. If things are still trending pretty strongly, it's going to put a bid out there, but it's gonna make sure that bid has got some breathing room, right? So we're looking for things to start retracing. Once things start retracing, then it's going to start moving those bids back up. But the idea that I was behind this is what I was seeing previously was the market would start moving down, my bid would get hit. I'd wait a little bit, put another bid out there, that bid would get hit, and I'm just accumulating inventory on the way down until I fully max it out. So I wanted to put this trend detection indicator in there and kind of back off a bit more and get even more defensive. So I am putting together just a little poor man's UI together. I'm just basically spitting out JSON data so I can see kind of what's going on with the strategy and not parse through the log files and just kind of like be able to refresh a page to kind of see where things are at. So I had dubbed this trend detection like kind of a danger zone. So if it's seeing some magnitude move over some period of time, then it's going to say, hey, let's kind of slow things down a bit. So it's looking at the ATR to kind of gauge volatility. It's going to look at the magnitude of the move over some period of time, and then look at that magnitude of move in the context of how has the daily volatility been. So like if this move is maybe a large move for this 30-60 minute time period or whatever this look back is, but in the context of the daily volatility, it's really not that big. It's going to say, okay, we're going to like let this thing play out. But if it's at least a third of the daily volatility, then it's going to say, okay, let's like not go crazy with the cheese whiz here and slow down our orders. So anyway, that part seems to have worked very well today. Now, I don't want to like, so overall for the day, I'll show the stats here. So here we are on the 27th. So we're pretty much flat for the day. When that downtrend happened and I discovered the algo was not placing the bids correctly, we took a pretty big hit right there, and then pretty much made up all that money back today. So happy that we ended up flat, but at the same time, I'm not going to really pat myself on the back, because if we take a look at the daily chart here, and this is like just freaking annoying. This is killing me about this chart, is like it's plotting all these buy and sell things, even though I keep telling it. I'll go in the settings and say, hey, I don't want to see the trade history on the chart. Okay, now it's gone. So really not going to pat myself on the back today that we ended up flat. I mean, it probably would have had a pretty good day if that bug had not been there. But at the same time, these last 3 days really seem like they would have been killer market making days. We got range bound days where it moved up and down, and we kind of ended the day where we started. So plus the volatility has been contracting, so like all these things coming together like should be great for a market making algo. What I want to see is, okay, now with these changes in place, how is it gonna be impacted on a day like right here where it's pretty much, we're in full liftoff mode here. We had a 5% up day and opened at the low and closed up near the high. So with this kind of danger zone indicator, what I'm hoping is that the algo becomes way more opportunistic about when to place ask orders out there on days like these right here, right? Because you just don't want to get completely run over. It'd be better just to sit on the sidelines because that is a perfectly valid decision is to not trade, right? Like the whole goal of this is to not lose money. So you make money on the time periods where your strategy has an edge, and just it's okay to sit on the sidelines if the strategy is not uh, really um, not really sure about what to do as far as a strong trending day like this. So anyway, we will see how this plays out over the next day. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for some volatility here so we can stress test this thing some more. But we're coming into Friday tomorrow, or I guess it's today really. At this point, we just hit midnight here, so we'll see how this does tomorrow. But overall, I'm optimistic that we've got another incremental improvement here that we'll be able to build upon. So I'll observe this over the next few days, make some more tweaks. In the meantime, I'm going to fix some reporting items that I want to gain some better visibility and insights into what the strategy is doing, and kind of go from there. So anyway, love to hear about what you guys are working on. Any questions, just drop a comment here. I'll get back to you guys, and I'll see you again real soon. Talk to you later.